Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is October the 27th, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully you've had a good Monday. Hopefully it's been a good Garfield day. Hopefully you got that lasagna, couple of pieces of bread to go down with it. Something, maybe a nice little wine on the side. I don't know, whatever you fancy. But no, today was a good day for me. I'd say I got my helpings. I'd say I made it through the day. But yeah, let's start with Sunday night, actually. Nothing crazy happened, but I will say I went to bed at like 9 something, maybe like 9:30 or so. I just laid in bed. I had my TV on, my laptop's running, stuff on Twitch. And I just had everything going, and I'm just laying in bed knowing I'm going to fall asleep. And I'm like, this is such a bad idea. Like, I haven't been on some stuff like this in a long time, but I'm so tired and I want to lay down. So I lay down. I think I maybe wake up at some point in the middle of the night, sometime past midnight, and, to hear someone yelling about something. And I'm like, this was such a mistake. I turned everything off, or the thing that was still on, and then I passed back out. I got so lucky. I think I wake up around 6 o'clock, so maybe it beat my alarm by like 30 minutes or so. Pretty much perfect timing. So honestly, one of the better sleeps of the month for sure. We get up, we get at 'em. Actually, I get to work early. It's like we're in rare form. It was very nice. So we start our day off right. Work was not too busy, just kind of marching along, got everything pretty much done. Around the time backup came, which is still weird. It's weird to have backup, like a strong sense of like, hey, I know around 1:30 or so, my replacement's going to come, they're going to work, and I really don't have to do much. Like, I'm chilling. Actually, I was chilling so much so that I almost like fell asleep in maintenance. It was bad. I'm on my old people shit. Like, literally, one of the guys was like talking to me just enough to keep me awake. And I wasn't sure if they were doing that to be a homie or if they were just trolling me. I don't know. But, hey, we didn't fall fully asleep. I was just kind of vibing, listening to some jazz. But then I had a little bit of a snack corner at the end of the day. One of my coworkers, we were just chilling, and they had gotten a bunch of stuff. I think they said from Kroger Wellness. I think they said they got like free stuff or something. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was just like, and they're like, do you want some? Take some. I'm not eating all this. I was like, oh, cool. So, of course, I go into scavenger mode, unhinge my jaw, and I'm eating these like not fried, but like puffed chickpeas. I don't know. They were almost like savory kicks. Honestly, they were fucking banging. They were yummy. And then they had a bagel. They ate half of it. It was like just a regular bagel with blueberry cream cheese, and they didn't want the other half. And I was like, yeah, bet, give me that. They're like, oh, it's cold. I already had like half of it in my mouth. They did not care. So yeah, that was clutch. That was very nice. So yeah, after that, I was going to go right to the gym after work, like I want to do, like I'm usually doing, but my stomach was a little bit like, oh no, you decided to eat, and that was a surprise to us, so we got to go handle that. And I was like, okay, detour, let's go home, let's reconnoiter at home, rendezvous at home for a little poo-poo, and a little something extra, and then we'll get to the gym, quick as you like. Which overall is what happened. We'd love to see it. I think I got to the gym around like 5:30, so maybe it's like about 30 or 40 minutes ish, later than usual. I'd say the only problem was it was Monday. It was very busy, and I kind of just rolled with it. And I was like, well, Smith machine's busy. There's no free weight benches to really work off of. You know what I'm just gonna do? Substitutions. So I did some leg workouts, I did some arm workouts, I did my core workout, and then I just hit some cardio for an hour. It was very chill, very relaxed fit. And got in and out of there pretty much right on time. Love that. Maybe I was out maybe 10 minutes later than I usually like to leave the gym. So overall, a good solid workout, maybe about like, I don't know, hour and a half, maybe, Like, I'll take that. For a Monday, we'll definitely take those. So yeah, overall, it was a pretty good day. I will say, only thing I'm kind of concerned about this month or this, like coming into this week, I guess, is I just have this vibe that November's not going to be good. And maybe this is just me being anxious and like it's terrible to put this kind of energy out because then you will find it. I feel like that's just how this shit works. I'm not even just talking about manifesting. I just think that's kind of how, your anxiety can work, and you start looking for the thing until you find the thing, and then you just go, oh, there it is. I'm right. So I really want to be positive and just kind of shake this feeling off. But yeah, I'm just like, maybe November's not going to be as fucking cherry vroom vroom as I want it to be. But I figured, hey, let's just, come in eyes wide open and let's just, fight to get to fucking Turkey Day. And then we get through Black Friday, and then we go from there. Because then we got Christmas on the mind. So I really want to just try to be positive and not be a worrywart? I never really knew which one it was. But anyway, so there you go. That's my day. That's how things have been for your boy. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into some news. Ooh. Okay, tasty. From CNN, bodies keep being recovered from the bayous around Houston. Why officials are convinced it's not the work of a serial killer. So I don't plan on reading all of this, but at least a good chunk, just to kind of, set the scene of what's going on. Enough is enough of wild speculation. Houston Mayor John Whitmire was frustrated as he stood in front of the cameras alongside the police chief last month, trying to dispel the rumors that have cast a veil of anxiety over the vast network of bayous that crisscross the city. There's no evidence that there's a serial killer loose on the streets of Houston, Whitmire said at the news conference. A crescendo of nervous speculation reached fever pitch in the city when the body of a 20-year-old Houston student, Jade McKissick, was pulled from Brays Bayou on September 15th, one of 7 deaths reported in Houston area bayous last month. The promising honor student had mysteriously vanished after spending an evening with friends at a local bar, then leaving alone without her cell phone and stopping at a gas station next door, Houston police said. An autopsy revealed no signs of trauma or foul play, but the cause and manner of McKissick's death remain pending, according to the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences. This was probably the biggest deal. That's when college students started getting worried, Houston Council member Letitia Plummer said. Alarmed by the chain of bodies pulled out of bayous, some Houston residents took to social media to try to make sense of the deaths, with posts pushing theories of a serial killer garnering thousands of likes. Family members of some of those found in the waterways have also shown skepticism over the death investigations and called for more answers. Last week, the father of Kenneth Cutting Jr., a 22-year-old found dead in Buffalo Bayou last year, expressed frustration with authorities after the medical examiner listed his son's cause of death as undetermined. He did not fall in that bayou. The father, Kenneth Cutting Sr., told CNN affiliate KHOU. I don't know if there's a serial killer, but the way that they're dealing with these bodies is ridiculous. So I can understand how this narrative can kind of build and kind of grow over time, especially when you have something like you're pulling out a bunch of bodies in just a small sort of time in just a month. And then you look also at the statistics where it's like we had one number last year and that number doubled over the span of a year. Something obviously has to be going on. That's what people are thinking. That's what people are worried about. I can completely understand that. I know there's some stories too where I do also, I myself can kind of run with the conspiracy of going, hey, I hear what a medical examiner is saying, but just shit's just not adding up to me. And I personally try to say, hey, I understand, and I got to tell you guys, this is the narrative that is, at hand. But do I personally think that this is what it is? No. But I do also try to say, hey, what is most likely common? Like, what's the most common answer is probably the right one, right? So in this situation, I do think that the authorities are right to say, hey, let's calm down here. It's not a serial killer. I know we don't have a cause of death in all these situations, but speculating and saying, hey, there's a killer on the loose is probably not good. Is probably, spreading panic. But I also get that narrative of saying, hey, nah, man, something's just not adding up and I want answers. And also maybe you want the attention, whatever it is. You want to talk about this stuff. You want to digest this stuff. Hey, I'm a guy with a podcast. I completely understand. But I do think you have to be very careful when, these kind of stories come up and, how you go about talking about the stuff. I think, definitely one, not spreading misinformation is important. But two, not trying to just play off of fears. I think that can be such an easy thing to do in stories and situations like this. But definitely very interesting, what is causing the spikes in these kind of deaths, they kind of go through it throughout the rest of this article, at least in terms of more speculation and theories and things of that manner. Kind of bit of details. We got some more stories I wanted to at least read through. But, I just wanted to highlight this story. I don't have any, big revelation to pull from it right now. I'm not here with the sweet tea. If there's anything that comes up, any more information, any updates, then we'll consider this our kind of toehold into the story, and we'll kind of update from here, update from there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get me. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next story from ABC News. DHS says migrant fatally struck by vehicle while fleeing ICE agents. The Department of Homeland Security said an undocumented immigrant was killed after being struck by a vehicle on a highway while attempting to flee immigration officials. A DHS spokesperson said Jose Castro Rivera and other occupants traveling in a vehicle were stopped by ICE officers on Thursday as part of a targeted intelligence-based immigration enforcement operation. DHS did not provide further details about the operation. While DHS did not say where the incident took place, the Virginia State Police reported it happened on Interstate 264 in Norfolk around 11 a.m. and said Castro Rivera was struck by a 2002 Ford pickup truck and was pronounced dead at the scene. Its report said he was 24 years old. Excuse me. DHS said Castro Rivera resisted heavily and fled onto the highway where he was fatally struck. The agency did not offer specifics about Castro Rivera allegedly resisting arrest. This is my least fucking favorite part of this whole article. One of our ICE officers administered CPR to Castro Rivera in an attempt to keep him alive. Unfortunately, Castro Rivera perished. The officers then informed the three detained aliens that their friend had deceased. He then grieved and prayed with them, the spokesperson said. This is some Dog the Bounty Hunter ass shit, except you did the things that set up this man's death. Like, I don't know how nice, that's the nicest way I can fucking word this in a way that I'm not actually sitting here saying, y'all motherfuckers did that shit. Okay? Like, it's so frustrating to just say like, oh, we did this and then try to act Christ-like here. Like you're like a fucking apostle. You set everything up for this man to be in this situation and be killed. Or what? You get body snatched? Like these are your options in America at this point. So like to act like you're doing these people who just had to pretty much watch their friend die, or at least they now know that their friend was just run over on a highway because they were trying to fucking get away. Like, and you go, oh, thanks for praying with us, big dog. Really fucking appreciate that while you're fucking, deporting me out of the country. I read that shit and I was just like, God fucking damn it. Like, they do this shit and they just are looking for the next photo op, even in the moment. It's unclear what happened to the other occupants of the vehicle or the driver of the pickup truck. The Virginia State Police said its preliminary investigation indicated that Castro Rivera was fleeing from an ICE agent when he exited a vehicle and tried to cross the interstate. It said it was not involved in the pursuit and was investigating only the resulting accident. DHS blamed Castro Rivera in part of Castro Rivera's death in part on those who spread misinformation and ways to avoid detention that it says embolden people to resist its agents. Sadly, this is a tragic result of such resistance, the spokesperson said. This is a line they keep fucking towing off. Like, Trisha McLaughlin keeps saying this fucking shit like it's once again a fucking spell that you can put on people and they go, oh, yeah, that's right. I almost wish they would just go back to their, like, terra firma narrative. It's like, well, technically, like, everyone's a criminal if you just cross the border, you know? If you just do that, you're kind of a criminal, so we can kind of do this. But they know that that doesn't hold water to people. It still makes them uneasy to see this shit happen on their streets, to see this shit happen day after day after day after fucking day. So they keep trying to bounce around and try to hit something that works and triggers your thing to say, oh, well, yeah, you should just let us do our job. Like, you shouldn't tell people to resist. Well, once again, what are your options in this situation? Let yourself get body snatched? You never see your fucking friends and family again and just be completely ripped away and then go God knows where? Because you might not even go to your home fucking country. What are we talking about here? It's so fucking frustrating to cover this shit day after day. And it really has become a thing now where I'm covering more ICE stories than I am like just vanilla police shit. Not to say that that's not happening. There are definitely things happening. God damn it. Shit, I know we got this there's a Sandra Massey story. We were covering that, you know, before, year prior, I don't remember the exact time. That's ongoing thing. I'm sure we're going to get to that around a verdict. But no, trust me, law enforcement's still fucking at it. That I'm sure. But it is crazy that ICE is just going band for band with them right now. Like, also, I mean, essentially Trump is like, boosting this motherfucking, agency up as much as he fucking can. Because, I mean, essentially they report to who? Him and his administration. So that's kind of the exact kind of law enforcement you want. Not that, you can't have, goddamn any kind of PD on beck and call. But I don't know. I think that there is something maybe to that line too here. But, I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again. We're just going to sadly see more stories like this. Because at the end of the day, these motherfuckers only care about boosting these fucking numbers of deportations. They are just trying to get that number up and up and up and up and up. It doesn't matter. Fuck it. So, anyway, let's move on to our next story. From the ABC News, you got a double whammy, double header. Navy helicopter, fighter jet, both go down in South China Sea. Navy. A Navy helicopter and a fighter jet, both conducting routine operations from the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier, went down in the South China in the South China Sea about 30 minutes apart Sunday, the U.S. Pacific Fleet said in a statement. The U.S. Navy MH-60R Seahawk helicopter went down at about 2:45 p.m. local time. All 3 crew members were safely recovered, the Navy said. So that's good. Excuse me. Following the incident, separately at 3:15 p.m., a FA-18F Super Hornet fighter assigned to the Fighting Redcocks Strike Fighter Squadron VFA-22 also went down in the waters of South China Sea while conducting routine operations from Nimitz. Both crew members ejected and were also safely recovered. So they're investigating it. I don't really think there's going to be more to really cover there. But, I mean, hey, that's a bit of, I guess you could say, good news and a bit of in the South China Sea. Anyway, we have one more story that I wanted to cover. And it's an update coming out of Argentina. Their midterm elections came up. So, yeah. So much to talk about. But let's take our last break, and then we'll go ahead and get to the Chainsaw Man. Ooh. Ooh. Sorry, I'm looking at an advertisement for Bob Evans, and they're trying to sell me Bob Evans burgers. Hell fucking no. I'll go to Bob's Burgers. I ain't going to Bob Evans Burgers. Fuck that shit. Sorry. Anyway, not sponsored, obviously. From AFP, Argentine markets cheer Malay midterms triumph. I'm booing, by the way. Boo, tomato. We hate to see it. Argentine markets reacted euphorically Monday to President Javier Milei's runaway victory in midterm elections, heralding them as an endorsement of his radical free market agenda. The benchmark Merval index gained a whopping 21.78% on the surprisingly strong performance of Milei's party. The peso, which investors had fled before the vote, climbed over 6% against the dollar before falling back slightly to close up 3.6%. U.S. President Donald Trump, who twice came to the financial and political rescue of his close ally in recent weeks, congratulated Milei on his landslide victory. Our confidence in him was justified by the people of Argentina. Trump, who had threatened to withhold aid if Milei lost the vote, wrote on his Truth Social platform while on an Asia tour. I believe also, this is a bit of a side note, he's in Japan right now, talking to the new prime minister. I should remember her name, but I don't. But, hey, she's a Margaret Thatcher enjoyer, and she plays the drums. Real metalhead. So good for her. Good for him. Good for everyone involved there. I'm so excited. But no, I guess you say good for Argentina as well, man. I don't know. It's crazy to hold a gun, like not a gun per se, but essentially say, hey, we're going to give you $40 billion if you vote the way we want you to. Like, this is literally the American playbook. Like, and it worked here. I mean, essentially, I also believe too, that maybe for Argentina, they're already halfway in the bag. You already voted for Milei. Yes, do you have buyer's remorse? I'm sure some people do. You are feeling the economic pain of this plan, right? These austerity measures or whatever the fuck, right? But also there's people who are saying, well, this is also part of the process. And in this process, we are potentially getting a big bag of money from Donald Trump. And yes, I think, people probably heard enough experts to know, is this really going to come out in the wash and save everything? No, not in the long run. But is it better than nothing? Yeah, probably. I know my dumbass would think so. Like at the end of the day, you will take whatever relief you can. I completely understand that. And also for Argentina, looking at things beforehand, were they working before? No, they weren't. Your economy was in the shit and you wanted anything to get out of it. And this was the guy you picked. Like I said, Mr. Chainsaw Man, guy with the crazy fucking haircut, Kroger brand fucking, Hugh Jackman. This is your guy. And I think, with the enticement of, once again, the bag, the $40 billion bag, you said, yeah, we'll vote the way you want in these midterms. We'll get your party across the board. I think that they're looking to get like 1/3 of the seats or something to that effect. I think the numbers are still getting tallied up for all of that. Time's going to tell. But yeah, I mean, this is a win for Milei. He gets to continue on, because this would have been a complete black eye and kind of showing like big fault lines, big cracks, big fissures in this whole fucking process. And it's looking like you're going to get bodied. But now, maybe you've turned things around from here. And I mean, it's just crazy. Like literally just being a Trump proxy in the situation, because this is all he is. Like I've kind of, said, hey, this guy's more libertarian or whatever. But when you look at his measures, they're just conservative. They're just more conservative measures that aren't, socialist or, left wing or whatever. We're really closing the fucking purse strings. We're trying to balance the fucking books, and we're trying to do this at any fucking cost. We're cutting social spending. That's for goddamn sure. So, that's definitely the meat that they're looking to cut. And that's how they're trimming things and things of that nature. I'm getting in the economic weeds here with this. But like I said, I don't like seeing this personally, once again, from my armchair at my little bird's eye perspective. But I can also understand why people would vote like this, even though you've been in the lurch with Milei as it's been going. Because once again, you're already kind of pot committed. And like, if you're trusting the process, the only way out is through. And so you might as well keep backing the guy, I mean, to me, this is kind of sunken cost, sunken fallacy, whatever. But, that's how I see it. That's how I viewed it. I'm not living in Argentina. I got my own fucking problems, okay? God, these terrorists, brother. These terrorists fucking... I think about it all the time. I think about money so fucking much. It's so upsetting. it rots my brain. I've been doing that since, I don't know, like 18, 19. It's just like, oh, I have to make money. I have to get money. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to be roadkill one day. I think about that shit all the fucking time. And then you think about, and now that I like look at things politically, so you see the impacts, it's not just like hitting you out of the fucking blue. It's just like, it's like watching the car crash in slow motion. It's like seeing the sword happen at fucking like, 0.5 speed. It's like, stop! Why do you want to do this? Sorry, I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm crashing out, as the kids might say. I don't know. I'm the kids. I'm definitely not. I'm too fucking old. I'm haggard. Anyway, that's it. That is the episode. Random bit of side news, since I am being possessed by the spirit of news. I believe they announced Diddy's release date. May something. I believe 2028. So there you go. There's that. Some people, I'm sure that's getting reactions. I haven't really looked into that, but there you go. That's some news. Also, I believe there's a Hormel chili recall. I didn't want to look into it because there's like a lot of food recalls, and we're busy. We got a lot of news on the docket. What can I say? Though actually, we got through that pretty efficiently. I'm not too mad at myself there. But that's a bit of side news. Maybe I'll fully update that, or maybe not. Maybe just buyer beware. Hormel chili. I do eat Hormel chili though. It is yummy. I'll vouch for Hormel chili. Sans this recall. I don't know. They got some kind of contamination. Once again, I should be looking these things up, but we're kind of freestyling at the end. Why not? Just kind of cramming some news in. Hold on, I'm actually about to look up the Diddy thing. Yeah, here we go. Google searching. It just says 2028. You're trolling. You're trolling, mate. Yeah, May 8th. I knew it had a cadence to it. Yeah, May 8th, 2028. Bada bing, bada boom. And then I'm going to look up Hormel chili recall. Hormel. Was it Hormel chicken? Hormel chili. What if I was wrong, y'all? What if it's not? That would not be funny. There's no beans about this. Oh, maybe it was okay. I'm spreading some misinformation. That's my bad. We're just gonna say Hormel recall. We're doing live research. That's what we're gonna call this. Here we go, y'all. Okay, we're learning together right here, right now. I dreaded USA Today. Not because there's anything wrong with USA Today. It's just there's so many ads and it's so slow. Hormel recalls nearly 5 million pounds of frozen chicken over metal contamination. See, so I almost telephoned here. That's bad, right? Like sometimes I read a little half of a headline and I go, yeah, that was a thing. That's the news. And that's why I research. That's why I try to sit down and I sit with the news and I know it. And then I at least have some idea of what's going on here, right? But I didn't do that here. I just shot from the hip, but I saved myself from a correction corner. This is bonus time. Hormel Foods is recalling frozen, ready-to-eat chicken products after they have been contaminated with pieces of metal. Oh, I love metal chicken. Heavy metal chicken. On Saturday, October 25th, Hormel Foods Corporation announced that around 4.9 million pounds of chicken are being recalled, according to a recall notice posted to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food Safety, and Inspection Service, or FSIS website. The poultry was distributed nationwide to HRI commercial food service locations from February to September. Okie dokie, artichokes. I will leave that there for your, buyer beware. Y'all know what to do with that, though. Like I said, take that back if you think you have that potential chicken. And or get your refund, throw it away. Hormel fire braised meats, all natural boneless chicken thigh. They have them all on here. I'm not going to read them all. There's quite a bit though. So yeah, just be aware. Anyway, let's see. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. Free ways to me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you like to listen. Leave a like. Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. All the stars are appreciated, whether it be on Spotify, whether it be on Apple Podcasts. But regardless whether you do that or not, I appreciate you listening. I just kind of bumble around talking about some news and my daily woes, while I try to get this daily bread. You feel me? And I appreciate you just rocking with that. That's cool. Thank you. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.